Dear friends, have a good day. Here in this video, today we are going to look at application of matrices and determinants. Chapter 1, Application of matrices and determinants. In this chapter, we are going to look at the following topics: Introduction, Inverse of a non-singular square matrix, Elementary transformation of matrix, Application of matrices, solving system of linear equations, Application of matrices, consistency of system of linear equations by rank method. These are all the topic we are going to cover in this chapter 1, Application of matrices and determinants. Introduction. Matrices are very important and indispensable in handling system of linear equations which arise as mathematical models of real-world problems. What they have said is, matrix is an important tool. With its help, you can solve the system of linear equations very easily. So, matrices act as a mathematical model to solve the system of linear equations. So, it acts as a mathematical model of real-world application. Mathematicians Gauss, Jordan, Cayley and Hamilton have developed the theory of matrices, which has been used in investigating solutions of system of linear equations. These mathematicians has developed the concept of matrices, and with the help of these concepts, we can easily investigate the solution of system of linear equations. In this chapter, we are going to look at some applications of matrices in solving system of linear equations. To be specific, we study 4 methods, namely matrix inversion method, Cramer's rule, Gaussian elimination method, and rank method. To study these 4 methods, we must have a clear idea about certain things in matrices. They are inverse of a non-singular square matrix, rank of a matrix, elementary row and column transformations, and consistency of system of linear equations. Inverse of a non-singular matrix. A square matrix is called a non-singular matrix if its determinant is not equal to 0. And a square matrix is called singular if its determinant is 0. That is, to check whether the given matrix is singular or not, what you have to do is find its determinant. If its determinant is non-zero, then you can say the given matrix is non-singular. Otherwise, it is said to be a singular matrix. Note that multiplication of a matrix by a scalar, addition of 2 matrices, and multiplication of 2 matrices are possible. But a rule could not be formulated to perform division of matrix by another matrix, since a matrix is just an arrangement of numbers and has no numerical value. That is why matrix division is not possible. When we say that a matrix A is of order n, we mean that A is a square matrix having n rows and n columns. In the case of a real number x not equal to 0, there exists a real number y such that xy is equal to yx equal to 1. Then we say that y is the inverse of x or reciprocal of x. In the same way of thinking, when a matrix A is given, if we find a matrix B such that the products AB is equal to BA is equal to I, the identity matrix, then we say that B is the inverse of the matrix A, where I is called the unit matrix or identity matrix. In this section, we are going to find the inverse of a non-singular square matrix and prove that a non-singular square matrix has a unique inverse. We are also going to look at some of the properties of inverse matrix. Before going to talk about inverse of the matrix, everyone must know the concepts adjoint of a matrix, minor, cofactor and determinant. Now let's see the above mentioned concepts one by one. First off, what is minor? Consider the given matrix as A is equal to A11, A12, A13, A21, A22, A23, A31, A32, A33. Then the minor of A11 is the determinant A22, A23, A32, A33. How the minor of A11 is obtained? The minor of A11 is obtained by eliminating the first row and the first column. So, minor we mean every element Aij of a square matrix A has its own minor, and it is the determinant obtained by eliminating the ith row and the jth column of the matrix, and is denoted by Mij. And then cofactor. What is cofactor? Consider the given matrix as A is equal to A11, A12, A13, A21, A22, A23, A31, A32, A33. Then the cofactor of A11 is equal to minus 1 whole power 1 plus 1 into M11. So to find the cofactor of an element of a matrix A, we must know the minor of the element. With the help of its minor, we can define what is cofactor. So cofactor of an element Aij of a square matrix A is defined as Cij is equal to minus 1 whole power I plus j into Mij. Adjoint of a matrix. An adjoint of a given matrix A is defined as the transpose of the cofactors of the given matrix A. That is, adjoint of A is equal to cofactors of A whole transpose. Therefore, to find the adjoint of the given matrix A, what you have to do is find the cofactors of every element of the given matrix A, and then with the help of its cofactors, you can easily find the adjoint of the matrix A. Consider the given matrix as A is equal to A11, A12, A13, A21, A22, A23, A31, A32, A33. This is a given matrix. Then to find the cofactors of A, what you have to do is find its cofactors with the help of minor of every element of the given matrix A. So this is the cofactor of the given matrix A. And then determinant. Consider the given matrix as A is equal to A11, A12, A13, A21, A22, A23, A31, A32, A33. Then the determinant of A is, determinant A is equal to A11 into its minor minus A12 into its minor plus A13 into its minor. Therefore, the determinant of a matrix A is defined as the sum of product of every element and its cofactors of any row or any column of the given matrix. So, a determinant of a given square matrix A is defined as the sum of product of every elements and its cofactors of any row or any column. By notation, we can define it as determinant A is equal to summation j is equal to 1 to n A1j into C1j. Now we are going to look at the theorem 1.1. For every square matrix A of order n, A into adjoint of A is equal to adjoint of A into A is equal to determinant A into In. For simplicity, we prove the theorem for n is equal to 3 only. Consider the given matrix as A is equal to A11, A12, A13, A21, A22, A23, A31, A32, A33. This is a given matrix of order 3 by 3. Now we need the adjoint of the matrix A. Now let us take the adjoint of the given matrix A becomes adjoint of A is equal to capital A11, capital A12, capital A13, capital A21, capital A22, capital A23, capital A31, capital A32, capital A33 be the adjoint of the given matrix A. By the definition of adjoint of the matrix, we can write adjoint of A is cofactors of A whole transpose. So that is why adjoint of A can be written as in the first row C11, C12, C13. In the second row you have C21, C22, C23, and in the third row you have C31, C32, C33 whole transpose. And then now what you have to do is transpose the row as column and the column as row. Then what you get is in the first row we have C11, C21, C31, and in the second row we have C12, C22, C32, and in the third row we have C13, C23, C33. So this is the adjoint of the given matrix A. Now we have A into adjoint of A is equal to write down the matrix A as it is, and then into write down the adjoint of the matrix A. The matrix A stands as it is, and then in place of adjoint of A replace its cofactors. So that is equal to the matrix A stands as it is, and in the previous steps transpose row as a column. Then what you get is in the second matrix you have C11, C21, C31, C12, C22, C32, C13, C23, C33. Now we have to multiply these two matrices. So A into adjoint of A is equal to A11, A12, A13, A21, A22, A23, A31, A32, A33 into C11, C21, C31, C12, C22, C32, C13, C23, C33. Now we are going to multiply these two matrices. Then what you get is this is the resultant of the product of above two matrices. Now have a look at every term of the resultant matrix. First off, let's see how does the first term comes. Here you have A11 into C11 plus A12 into C12 plus A13 into C13, which is located in the place of first row and first column. So which comes from the multiplication of first row and first column of the previous matrices. So first row and first column. So A11 into C11 plus A12 into C12 plus A13 into C13. And this element is located in the first row and the second column. So which is come from the product of first row and the second column. So A11 into C21 plus A12 into C22 plus A13 into C23. And this element is located in the place of A13. So which is comes from the product of the first row and the third column. So A11 into C31 plus A12 into C32 plus A13 into C33. In the same way, this element is located in the second row and the first column. So which is come from the product of second row and the first column. Similarly, which is located in the second row and the second column. So which is come from the product of second row and the second column. Similarly, this element is located in the place of second row and the third column. So this is comes from the product of second row and the third column. And this element is located in the place of third row and the first column. So which is come from the product of third row and the first column. In the same way, this element is located in the place of third row and the second column. So which is come from the product of third row and the second column. Similarly, this element is located in the place of third row and the third column. So which is come from the product of third row and the third column. So now have a look at these elements. So these elements are the sum of product of elements and its cofactors of any row or any column. So this is the definition of the determinant. So where A11 into C11 plus A12 into C12 plus A13 into C13 is equal to A21 into C21 plus A22 into C23 plus A23 into C23 is equal to A31 into C31 plus A32 into C32 plus A33 into C33. These are all the sum of product of elements of any row and its cofactor. So by the definition of determinant, what you can say is these elements are equal to determinant A, and the remaining entries are all 0. Therefore, A into adjoint of A is equal to, in the first row we have determinant A 0 0, and in the second row you have 0 determinant A 0, and in the third row you have 0 0 determinant A, and then take the determinant A outside. Then what you get is determinant A into, in the first row you have 1 0 0, and in the second row you have 0 1 0, and in the third row you have 0 0 1. So that is equal to determinant A into I3. This is called the identity matrix of order 3. Similarly, we can show adjoint of into A is equal to determinant A into I3. Hence, for any n, we say that A into adjoint of A is equal to adjoint of A into A is equal to determinant A into In. That's all.